Now, your Weather Authority forecast from meteorologist Amber Wheeler.
Well, we've got dense fog and very warm temperatures this week before we start seeing some storms towards the end of the week. So Monday through Wednesday, that patchy fog, in fact, dense fog tomorrow morning. We've got a dense fog advisory already, then well above normal temperatures. By Thursday, we turn breezy and we stay warm, but that's ahead of our pattern shift here that brings us better chances for storms Friday through the next weekend, and a few of those could be strong to severe. Right now we're in the 60s and dew points are in the 60s. So basically that means that the air is nearly saturated. So we're well on our way to creating fog for tomorrow morning. So we're now under a dense fog advisory. This was just issued about a half an hour ago by the Weather Service. So anybody that's under this purple, you have the ability to see reduced visibility of 1/4 of a mile and less into that Monday morning commute. Here's the visibility forecast. This is, if you follow weather models, this is the HRR, the HRRR. It's showing a lot of half-mile visibility, but sometimes in between these sites here, you're going to see that 1/4 of a mile and less. But you take away this, or you could take away from this, the fact that a lot of us have the chance to see some patchy fog, not just tomorrow morning, but into Tuesday morning as well. This particular model keeping it kind of conservative on the South Shore. I still think we need to watch out on the South Shore for Tuesday morning for that possibility of fog. And then we heat up. So tomorrow we're back into the low 80s. In fact, hitting the mid 80s there for Tuesday and Wednesday. That's 1 degree below the record for both Tuesday and Wednesday. Both of those records set back in the 1980s. So we are really warm, well above average. And of course, this ridge of high pressure is wide. This is what's keeping us warm. It's a fall heat dome, if you will. And as we head towards the end of the week, it'll start to push to the east and then troughing in the west, then will make its way towards us. So this is heading into Thursday. You can see here this low pressure system is going to race to the northeast, but it will give us a chance for some showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two. I think that this one doesn't have as much of a severe chance as the secondary low moving through. This one dives a little farther to the south, pulls in a lot more Gulf moisture. We'll need to watch that towards that, say, Friday, Saturday, Sunday time frame. Still a week out, still a lot that can change there with that potential rainfall. But this is the next 5 days worth of rain. You can really see the way the storms are going to be oriented here. Most of the heavy stuff wants to stay off towards our west until we get into next weekend. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday looks to be very dry. Once we get into Thursday, late on Thursday, we'll probably start to see a chance for some rain late, and then we'll have that chance for some rain start to pick up as we get into Friday. But beyond the next 5 days, and really beyond the next 7 days, the week of Thanksgiving looks like it could be kind of a busy one for a lot of folks across the lower 48. The Climate Prediction Center giving an above average forecast for rainfall. At the same time, there is a bit of a pattern shift that's happening at the poles, and it could impact us the week of Thanksgiving. You're going to hear about this term stratospheric warming probably a lot in the coming days, because we do have the possibility of an event happening this week, and roughly we get about 6 on average per decade, so they become kind of a big deal when it comes to explaining the weather. So we have the polar vortex. You've heard of this before. This is like the keeper of the cold air during the cold months. When you have the upper atmosphere, the stratosphere, warm up, that really disrupts the air at the surface. It disrupts the jet stream, and this air can go from -100 to -10. And while that's still very cold, that is a big warm up. That really changes a lot with that polar vortex. It can split it in half. It can buckle the jet stream, and then we're looking at that cold air that can dive to the south. And the most important part is that it could dive down towards the southeast. This could bring us some colder weather as we get towards Thanksgiving. So we are going to watch for that. But the chances right now, it's tough to really nail down the particulars in the forecast. But as you can see here, the Climate Prediction Center really showing the possibility of that cold air funneling in the week of Thanksgiving. So we'll watch for that to see how far south that does dive, and of course just how cold it could be. It could impact us again around Thanksgiving, if not just after, but that's still about almost 2 weeks away. So a lot can change here. Here's your forecast for the next week. Lots of 80s, lots of near record temperatures, and then the temperatures fall to the 70s into next weekend. Light winds makes for a nice next few days on the water. Stay with us. Sports is next.